Hello everyone, namaskar. So today we have another sample chart. Many thanks to Luke for providing his birth details. And we're gonna have a look at his chart from different perspectives. So the first thing we want to look is in terms of life path, means like the yoga producing planets, what is the condition of them in the Rasi chart. So for this purpose we have to see where are the angular lords, that means the lords of the 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th house, because these are the karma houses which indicate where we will be active, where our activities are. So the first lord is in 1st house, the 4th lord, which is also the 5th lord, is in 11th house, Saturn. Then we have the 7th lord, Mars. This is Aries. Mars is in the 10th house, and then the 10th lord, Moon, is in the 12th house. So these are more or less the planets that indicate our activities, our focus of activities. And if the trine lords, the 1st, 5th and 9th, 1st, 5th and 9th, they join somehow or other these angular lords, that will be a person that will be very inspired to follow their Dharma, their inert inspiration, can say. Dharma actually is a word that is often translated as religion in many texts, but basically what it means, Dharma, it is a quality that is not separable from a object. So for instance, the Dharma of water is to be liquid, and the Dharma of the sunshine, it is hot. If you take away the liquidness from water, it cannot be water anymore. So this is a quality that is ontologically, or like is just unseparable from the object. If you take away the heat from the fire, it will be not fire. So therefore the Dharma of the fire is to be hot and to give light. So similarly, we have a specific Dharma, a specific nature that is just connected to us, and that can be followed, that can be denied. And usually those who are following Dharma, will be very inspired persons, and they will be more fulfilled, and also they will be inspiring for others. So, and these combinations of these karma lords with the dharma lords is called Raja Yoga. So usually everyone is wanting this type of yogas because they will make a very inspired person that through that inspiration can achieve great things. So in this sample chart, in his case, there is no such dharma yoga, because the 10th lord is not connected to any, is not in the dharma house, and is not aspecting any dharma lord nor conjunct to any dharma lord. The 7th lord is not doing so. The 4th lord is also not doing so. Only the 1st lord is here, but it's not creating a dharma yoga because it's not connected to any kendra lord, to any 4th, 10th or 7th lord. So then we can see, instead of the dharma, there is artha and kama also, and moksha. So if we see the 2nd lord, 6th lord and 10th lord, these are artha houses. So for that is more interest in financial development and growing your assets. So from there we can see that the 7th Lord, the 6th Lord, which is the Artha house, is conjunct to the 4th Lord in the 11th house. So from that we can see that this person what he does is not so much coming from a place of pure inspiration, of following one's duty in life, one's inherited nature, but it's more related to gaining wealth, and this is happening in the 11th house of society, of recognition in the society. So from this we can see that this person's mode of or reasons for action is more inspired by gain of wealth and social recognition, and that is not something bad, it's just like that. Another, the 11th Lord is conjunct to the 1st Lord. So this shows rather more an inspiration for fulfilling one's desire, getting recognized by the society, and so on. So we can see that this is a person that reasons for action are more in terms of financial gains and social recognition. But we can see that this is also a very spiritual minded person, because many things happen in the lagna, in the self. We can see from the day of birth, that is the vara. I mean, there's this panchanga. Panchanga is the 5 limbs of time, and that is specifically the nakshatra, the day, the vara, the weekday, then the tithi. The tithi is the moon phase. There are 30 tithis: Purnima, full moon, and Amavasya, the dark moon. They are the 15th tithi and the 30th. And then we have the karana, that is the half of the tithi, and we have yogas. That is the 5 panchanga, and these 5 panchagas, each one gives different information about the person's nature. And from the vara we can understand what is the talent and the mode of action. So this Luke, he is born on Friday, and to assess the talents properly we also have to consider the hour of birth, and that is in his case Hora Lord is Mercury. So the day has 24 hours, and Luke is born in the 2nd hour from on Friday. The 1st hour is always the weekday. So the 1st hour in Friday is ruled by Venus, Friday, and the 2nd hour is ruled by Mercury. So that becomes 2nd hour, and Mercury is that Hora Lord. So these 2 planets, they show the mode of action, the talents, and also the way of earning money. And since these are in the same house and they're also in the self, in the lagna, that shows that the person is very much active in self-development. And I know that Luke is already chanting for 10 years, different mantras, is interested in spirituality. And so though the basic inspiration is more recognition of society and gain of wealth, but there is a strong self-development tendency or quality. There is a strong quality of self-development that we can see from this the Vara Lord Venus and the Hora Lord Mercury are situated in the lagna. And also another way to see is that the final dispositor is Venus. So if we see like Mars is in a moon house, moon is in the Mercury house, Mercury is in the Venus house. Saturn is in the Sun house, Sun is in the Venus house. Jupiter is in the Sun house and Sun is in the Venus house. So the final dispositor is Venus, and Venus is again the Lagna Lord in the first house. So whatever this person will do, finally it rotates about, or it comes to the self. So it is about self-development. There is another one thing I can show you. That is so Venus is definitely a very important planet for him. Since it is the Lagna Lord, this is important. Since it is the final dispositor, is important. It is also the Vara Lord, the weekday. It has important, and it's the final dispositor. So more or less everything in the life path, we are talking about Rashi chart, is the life path, is somehow or other rotated about this Venus. So let's have a closer look at Venus. There is a file I want to show you that is Bhavapadas from Prashna Rahasya. This I got from my teacher. And this basically divides the Bhava, means the house, into 9 padas, into 9 sections. And each section has its specific signification. And Venus, we can see Venus is in 16 degrees and 33 seconds. So this falls still here. So it is in the 5th pada of the first bhava. And that makes, this gives the signification, virtues, qualities and a state. So developing qualities, having a high virtue, high moral, and being in a good state of self is definitely one of the most important things for Luke. I hope I pronounce it right. Please excuse me if not. And another one thing with reading this bhava, we have to see in what is the pada from the lagna. So the lagna is in 21st degree. This makes, so the lagna is placed in this pada, in the 7th pada. This is life path and its direction. And now we have to see in which pada from the lagna is the Venus. So that means it is 2 padas behind. So if lagna would become the first pada, that would make Venus in the 107th pada. And that is the signification, failures and destructive acts. Failures and destructive acts. So we have to combine these 2 significations, these failures and constructive acts with virtues, qualities and a state. So these 2 has to be combined. And now what I suggest is, since Venus is in good dignity, Venus is in good state, it is not it is helped by Mercury, who is a friend. It is a bit disturbed by Sun, so some bad things we can expect from Venus, but in great, Venus is in own house, it makes the Venus feel proud. It is delighted by its friend Mercury. So more than not, we can expect good results from Venus. And that means that this person at times has some tendencies to be self-destructive and might indulge in self-destructive activities like drinking or something like that, and at times feel really down and failures, but can always bounce back, since Venus is good, is not trash. Venus is not trashed at all. Venus is rather, if you see the degrees, Mercury is much closer to Venus. It's closer to Venus than the Sun. So the Sun influence to Venus is less than Mercury's influence. And Mercury is also a good lord. It's the 9th lord, brings Dharma to it. Though it is disturbed by the 11th lord's Sun, so there is always a tendency for looking for recognition in society. But after all, Venus is rather in good state, so that I want to say. So therefore, though at times there might be destructive activities and failures, this person can always bounce back and find its virtues and overall develop good qualities. All right, so another one thing I want to say is about inspiration, 5th house. Ketu is in the 5th and Rahu is in the 11th. So Ketu shows what we have already developed in previous lives, and Rahu is what we have to sometimes develop in this life. And actually, I myself have the same placement: Ketu in the 5th and Rahu in the 11th. And I know my daughter, my sister, they have the opposite. They have Rahu in the 5th and Ketu in the 11th. And what my personal experience with this is, or also from my study, or what I learned from Ernst Wilhelm actually, but just this topic about Ketu and Rahu I learned from Ernst Wilhelm. So it shows that 5th is like your creative self-expression, if your expression, your creativity to create something unique that is unique to yourself. So this person, if he's like in his own room working on a project, maybe writing a poem, writing something, always feels a lot of inspiration and feels genius about himself. Feels, oh yeah, this is really great. And it is an intelligent creation. It is a creative, nice creative expression. But when it's then coming to validate this creativity or create this creation in the society, and so to say, market your own creativity and bring it, make it liked by others, there it's really difficult. So there is no lack of creativity, and the person can always come up with ideas, but then really selling the ideas and make it accepted by a following, by a society, by a group, there the difficult lies. And that is often painful, since you have good ideas, but somehow nobody cares about it. So that is quite painful. So this Rahu Ketu placement makes that you have good ideas, but you cannot sell them, or you cannot market them, you cannot make them like accepted by people. And here we can see Jupiter is a significator of creativity. He's Karaka for that. Saturn is the 5th lord, so he is delighted by Jupiter. So therefore there's a lot of creativity in this person, and the desire for creativity, there is a big desire for being validated in society for its creativity. But since Rahu is there, it makes it quite difficult, it makes it quite painful, because this skill of making yourself, presenting yourself, presenting your creation to an audience so that the audience will accept, this skill is lacking or is not developed. But since the native is already 41 and is getting into the maturation age of Rahu, which is in 42, starting at 42, these skills are now going to be developed for sure in the next years. So Luke expressed to me that he has desired to be a writer and hopes to be published. So so from his personal maturity, this will be going to be very possible within the next 5 years. So this skill of how to present yourself to the society, that they can actually listen to your idea and also become delighted by it, this skill will be more and more securely developed. It's not said that it's not developed at all, since the native already went through Rahu Dasha. Definitely there have been some marketing skills and have been developed, but really secured so that they can bring results and bring fame or acceptance in society. This will happen in the next years, since Rahu is in maturation. Rahu matures at 42 and Ketu at 48. So in this period, the native will learn how to approach the society, that they will actually listen to the idea and accept it, and then also their own creativity will become validated and will become more refined. And since all the creative Karaka and the fifth lord of creativity are here, though the creative Karaka is a bit hampered by Saturn, so there's always a feeling of I'm not enough, my creativity is not good enough. But on the other hand, it is delighted by Sun, because the Sun is a friend of Jupiter. So but on the other hand, the fifth lord is again delighted by Jupiter, because Jupiter delights all the planets is there. So more or less there is some kind of sometimes good feeling about creativity, sometimes a bad feeling, but overall it is actually a very creative person that I believe will be in future be able to reach an audience. Yeah. So regarding marriage, I would suggest marriage could not happen yet, since the seventh lord is in debilitation and has no power to uphold its signification. And in the same time, in the ninth house here in Navamsa, Saturn is delaying a marriage, because in Navamsa the ninth lord is the ninth house is the most important to explore, but the ninth lord is in exaltation, so we can expect that marriage will happen and marriage life will be pleasurable, because Venus is in a friend's house, and Jupiter is the ninth lord is in exaltation, so there will be a happy marriage, but it will be delayed. It will be an uncommon marriage, because Venus is joined with Ketu. Ketu is bringing uncommon things out, unusual things, and Venus is the most important planet in Navamsa, so we have to see. But it is in a happy place. It's in his friend's house, great friend's house. Venus is happy there. Yeah, and also we can see that the seventh house is strongly aspected by Mercury, by Venus, even by Jupiter. So if we see the dashas, Jupiter dasha definitely is a dasha that can help to get married, and then maybe not the Saturn Antardasha which is running right now, but the Mercury Antardasha and especially then the Venus Antardasha, these are definitely places where a marriage can take place. Since Jupiter is helping from the Navamsa point, it's holding here this Sagittarius in the Navamsa. Then also Jupiter is also aspecting the seventh house. Then we have Mercury strongly aspecting, and Venus definitely. So Mercury maybe can expect a relationship starting, and maybe plannings will start for marriage. And if it's not happening here, marriage will happen in 2023. Yeah, this is what I can say, just more or less from the top of my mind. I hope this was insightful. I'm not sure I will be able to take time for future sample readings like this. I have in my personal life quite some changes coming. But if anyone interested, just contact me through my email or through the Instagram, Vedic Star Signs. If I find time, I can do a video like this. Thank you very much for watching. Please help me to grow this channel. That would be very much appreciated. So like it. If you have any questions or comments, just comment. Subscribe. If you're interested in Vaishnava philosophy, Vedic spirituality, in the views of the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, then please check out my other videos on this channel and share it with your friends and all the good stuff. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.